Hello you good people, it's Nicole and welcome back. We've recently started putting out game reviews on the channel as well, so if this is something that may interest you, do check out our channel for the first one we've done on the medium. So going forward, we will have a lot more of such game reviews coming up given we have played so many games during this COVID period. On top of that, it is the Hungry Ghost month in Singapore, the 7th lunar month. So I am inclined to bring you some indie horror gameplays to match up with the atmosphere, but only indie horror games with a good storyline and of course scare-worthy. And hopefully be able to bring you some light entertainment on top of the tech and game reviews. Now back to this review, we do have two 6600 XT graphics cards in our hands right now, one being the Powercolor Hellhound and the second being the SFX Quick 308. So today we will be discussing the Powercolor and keep the SFX for the next review video coming up. So if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, do so you'll be notified when the SFX review video is up. So in the last week since the 6600 XT has been launched, there has been so many reviews. I bet you've seen a lot of them. And to be honest, they aren't that great. But to be very objective, I think we've got to look at a few things, right? Like, what is the market segment that the 6600 XT is meant to target? Can it do what it's meant to do? And of course, what is the value that it's delivering at the end of it? Well, I'd say that the situation in the market isn't helping at all, where MSRP is complete bullshit. And it's been 2 years, 2 damn long years, and it doesn't look like the situation is gonna get any better. Well, I still can't get my hands on a PS5 in Singapore, and all I see is scalpers trying to sell it at twice the retail price. I guess you know where I'm coming from. So what I'm really saying is that us as consumers, we pay a price for the graphics card at premium above the MSRP, and luck plays a huge part in which graphics card specifically you can land your hands on. And that potentially rolls back down to, hey, I've got a 6600 XT at $600 US. Obviously because the price has been jacked up by the lack of supply. And then you realize that its performance is not beating the RTX 3070, which Nvidia retails it at MSRP $499. Come on guys. This build that I have today, special thanks to our friends at Aftershock for arranging this for our review. To be honest, one of the best ways to get away with GPU stock availability as well as heavily marked up GPU prices is to get your PC build through a reputable PC build company. Your PC will still be heavily customizable. You get to choose the PC case that you like, of the size, of the specs, and of course all of the PC components that comes along with it, and pay only for what you need. Just like you would if you had built it yourself. The only difference is no painful fingers screwing and unscrewing. By the way, if you are a huge Meshalicious case fan like I am, then you might like to know that Aftershock do offer a build in the SSUPD's Meshalicious small form factor case as well, and they call it the Vault Mesh Edition. If you'd like to find out more, Aftershock is available in a couple of markets, and I will leave a link down in the description to this video. That said, these are loaned to me. They're not given to me as gifts, nor am I paid by Aftershock. So I'm not obligated to sell them or say anything good about their products as well as the graphics cards we are reviewing here. Hence, everything I'm sharing with you here are either published facts or my personal opinions. Moving on, we will be talking about the Powercolor Hellhound and all you need to know about this graphics card before we briefly touch a little bit on this PC case. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this graphic card is how tiny it is. Tiny. And given that we've been reviewing a lot of Nvidia's RTX 3000 series, this is really a first for me. It is a mere 220mm by 132mm by 45mm, and I can imagine how well it fits in the small form factor case. So the Hellhound adopts two 100mm fans in a dual fan design. The only one I've seen in the 3000 series so far is the M Hollow, but this is still a lot smaller than that. This dual fans also has got blue LED lighting where it lights up beautifully in your case, and there is a really tiny, let me bring it nearer to you, switch over here. That side it says LED switch, right? And the switch, what it does is that you can actually switch off the blue LED if you prefer to keep a low profile for a bit and switch the LED light off. So on this side also is where you see the solid metal backplate, and this, of course, we know metal helps heat dissipation, so that's what it is. And you'll be sporting a Hellhound logo on one end. So nothing too fanciful, straightforward. And if you look around its sides, it is fairly exposed, so that should once again help with heat dissipation. Here on this side, this looks pretty nice in the PC case, which has some arrows and the Powercolor logo, along with one HDMI 2.1 connector and 3 DisplayPort 1.4 connectors. This GPU is also powered by a single 8-pin PCIe power connector with a minimum power supply requirement of 500 watts. This is much lower than the requirement for the 3060 Ti at 600 watts and the 3060 at 500 watts. And the reason why I'm bringing up these two graphics cards is because the 6600 XT is much designed to match against these two graphics cards to target at the 1080p gaming. Before we go further, let's take a quick look at the specifications of the 6600 XT. So this 6600 XT has a memory of 8GB GDDR4, 2048 units of stream processors, game clock at 2359 MHz, boost clock of 2589 MHz, and 16GB memory speed with 128-bit interface. So compared to its bigger brothers, the 6600 XT is designed to match up against the RTX 3060 for 1080p gaming, as we mentioned earlier. And here's a chart provided by AMD that gives a flavor to how it stacks up against the RTX 3060 on major games. To top it all, we've tested this on a couple of games as well, and here are the results. Whilst Nvidia has DLSS and ray tracing, AMD has their Fidelity FX for optimized shadows and lighting, DirectX ray tracing, also known as DXR, for realistic graphics, RADEON anti-lag for what Nvidia has as NVIDIA Reflex, and so forth. The 6600 XT runs on PCIe 4, so if you're using a motherboard with only PCIe 3, it will be backwards compatible as usual, just that you will not be able to enjoy the full perks of the PCIe 4 connection. So I've got the GPU back into the case and powered it on. So this is the Rapid Mesh case from Aftershock. It has this angular mesh front that is really very nice. Especially in white, you see the shadows casted on the white surface that simply accentuates its angular design. We have another PC case review coming up in the next couple of weeks for a micro ATX case, which also sports the same angular front panel. So be sure to subscribe to our channel if you would like to hear more about that one. Now there are a couple of things about this case which I really want to share with you that I thought was really cool. The first thing first being, this case sports a single glass panel on one side, and this panel has got a magnetic lock which you pull and is hinged like a door. So I really like this concept. Really cool. Open, no tools. Just pull it magnetically and hinged on the door, hangs there. My concern is always that, maybe I move a little back, it goes all the way, and you may accidentally hit it against some surface. But logically that shouldn't happen. Now if we look deeper into this case, it's got 3 fans in the front panel and 1 fan at the back. These are 120mm fans with a proper airflow, with air intake from the front and exhaust on the back. So on the top, you've got a mesh panel that you can remove magnetically, and this is the same as well for the bottom where there is a similar setup. Let me just quickly touch on the I/O ports. For I/O, you have the on-off button. There is a LED light that lights up and is on. There is a reset button, not quite sure what it does. There's an LED button, USB 3.0, 2 USB 3.0 ports, a microphone jack and a headset jack. So the cool thing I want to show you is also the LED button. When I was fidgeting along with it, I realized, wow, I could actually change the colors of the LED, not just the colors, but also, this is a color that matches the blue LED of the 6600 XT from Hellhound. Not just changing colors, but also I can change the effects of the LED. If you want to have a quick, different look and feel, you don't want to manually you don't want to download software to do that, can be done like that. For this build, we are also sporting a Ryzen 5 3600 CPU, Gigabyte A520M Wi-Fi motherboard, of course the Powercolor Hellhound 6600 XT GPU. We've got RAMs from XPG, 512GB Lexar NVMe M.2 SSD. There is a FSP Hydro 800W power supply, and of course we have the Aftershock Aircooler here in white. Okay, now that we've toggled the lighting back to what it was before, if you look into the case, you can see that they have Aftershock has nicely customized some cables, extension cables that are blue to match the Hellhound 6600 XT. And in this case, we also see spaces on the front for 2.5-inch storage cards, which you can showcase in the front. I believe there are more. I do see a 3.5-inch hard drive storage cage below next to the power supply, so interesting PC build. Okay, enough of oogling at a case that I didn't build myself. So let's go back to the first question that we spoke about right at the beginning of this video, which is the 6600 XT graphics card that bad? My very honest opinion is that if we go back to the 3 points that I spoke about earlier on, one being, what is the target market segment that the 6600 XT meant to target at? 2 being, what does it do what it's supposed to do? And 3, what is the value that it brings, right? So going back to these 3 points, my very honest opinion is that this card does what it's promised to do. It's meant to target the 1080p gamers, and we've tested this on the 1440p as well. And it still performs at more than 60 frames per second for 1440p gaming. Of course, this is achieved because we didn't game on ultra settings for all these games, but we're also not talking about bare minimum basic graphics settings setup. And the Powercolor Hellhound 6600 XT comes at such a small form factor, which really rides on the trend that a lot of people are going for small form factor builds these days, for a smaller footprint on their desk, make the workspace look a lot neater, trendier. And the small size really helps in that because you take away the first problem of, can my graphics card fit into the case? What I truly feel is that a lot of negative welcome with regards to these graphics cards is associated with price. If you've noticed, I've deliberately stopped talking about prices when it comes to graphics cards reviews because There is no standard consistent pricing at all to talk about. If I were to bring up MSRP to you, I'm just putting a fake front to you because we know that we can't get graphics cards at MSRP today. The truth is, everybody is looking for greater performance and pay a lower dollar per value. If you go to Newegg for the 6600 XT across different brands, right? The price difference between those brands for a same 6600 XT setup can be as high as $300 US. But seriously, if you consider the performance between different brands, whether it's a Asus, whether it's a MSI, whether it's a Powercolor in this instance, does the performance difference warrant a few $100 price difference? This is a really messed up market. That's exactly what a lack of supply and extensive demand, including those of miners, have done to us. And yes, the 6600 XT can well be delivering the same performance per dollar as its predecessors, and now with a enhanced performance, it now warrants a higher price. I just thought that there is no one logical and fair way to gauge a value for performance today because there is just no one consistent price for a single graphics card in the marketplace. Anyway, in short, the 6600 XT does what it promises to do. It is not going to miraculously game at 60 frames per second on a 4K monitor like a 3090. To reiterate, this graphics card is targeted at 1080p gaming. I know there are some YouTubers who are saying that, come on, nobody does 1080p gaming anymore, you know, everyone's moving towards the vision of 4K. But let's get our hands down, right? The mass general consumers out there, how many of us are gaming on 4K monitors? It's the same statement as how many people are using 4K TVs right now. In a couple of years maybe, right, as competition and technology advances, then, you know, 4K monitors become cheaper and more readily available. But at this point in time, I think a lot of people are still working on 1080p monitors. So there is still a wide demand for 1080p graphics card. Anyway, if you've managed to get your hands on the 6600 XT in your market, let me know your thoughts on it. Does it do what it's meant to do for you? My personal opinion is that for a gaming PC, I think the bare minimum bar for me is a 3060 Ti or a 6600 XT at this point in time. I can't wait to test the SFX Quick 308 6600 XT graphics card and compare against the Powercolor and see how it differs. So let's discuss that in the next review. So drop us a like and stay tuned. Take care and I'll see you soon.